everybody. Welcome to Tad Talk. It's what day is it? It's Monday, April the 6th, 2020. It's 11 o'clock where I am, which is Pacific time. And we're back for another week of Tad Talk episodes. And this is episode 8. And boy, this is going to be magical because we have 3 of our amazing magicians on the show, all outstanding in their own right, all wonderful people, and all whose name begin with J.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're like our own little show in and of itself. Joel, Jessica, and Jen. The Joel, Jessica, and Jen show.
All right.
How are you, Jen?
Great. I'm so happy to be here.
Good to have you here. And we've also got Jessica Jane. Hi, Jessica.
Hey, how you doing?
And Joel Meyers. How are you, Joel?
Hey, I'm great, buddy. It's really good to see you.
You too. Now, where are you, Joel? Where are you?
So I live in DC now. So my wife and I have a house in DC. Yeah, I've been everywhere from like the Midwest. Lived in the Midwest, Los Angeles, and then now we live in DC.
Good for you. How about you, Jen? Are you in Vegas?
I'm here in Las Vegas. Yes.
Hey, definitely going to talk about your residency there. And Jessica, where are you?
I am in Los Angeles.
Nice. Which part?
North Hollywood, NoHo.
Nice. Well, that's great. All over. We got both coasts covered and somewhere.
Yeah, I'm the only one who really got to sleep in today.
That's true. Today it's going to be a great show, and like I said, 3 incredible careers. But we're going to start off Tad Talk with the 3 quick fire questions, 2 if we take our time on them. So here's the first one. We're going to hit it to Jen first. Jen, if something grew on trees, what would you want it to be? What would you like to grow on trees?
Oh, that's an easy one. Decks of cards. As a magician, I'm sure Jessica and Joel, you can relate.
I was going to say that.
Bins upon boxes of decks of cards. I buy them in bulk. You guys know those big blocks of cards that you get from Costco? It's like, yes, big blocks. So yeah, decks of cards. I mean, we go through, look at this. We got this whole jar of just miscellaneous playing cards. So.
Those are the essentials. If those went missing before the toilet paper, I'd be freaking out more than toilet paper.
Right, exactly.
I hear you, girl. I hear you.
We've all got them with us. We're like, yeah.
Welcome to the life of a magician. There it is.
Wow. I think she may have stole your 2 answers.
Yeah, she stole mine for sure.
Jessica,
I've got one. I've got a different one.
tell us, what is it?
Magic books.
Magic.
Oh, magic book.
That's a good one.
Wow.
That's a good one.
That's good. The other thing I would say is coffee. I haven't even had my coffee yet, so but the shower woke me up. Yeah, I mean, I would say decks of cards and coffee. I'd want those to grow on trees.
You say it's
not money. Who wants that?
No, really.
And I feel like those 3 things go well together. You've got your magic books. You can sit down with your books, your cards, your coffee, and you're good to go.
I just can't believe I'm actually talking to somebody who hasn't had coffee by 2 p.m., Joe.
That's because I woke up at 1 p.m., Terry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Right.
Second quick fire question. If you could shop for free, at one retail store, so not Amazon where you can get everything, but if you could shop for free for the rest of your life at one retail store, Jessica, what would it be?
There is a chain out here in California called Fry's Electronics, and it's all sorts of cool little pieces that you can put together and invent things and make things. So it's like a creative paradise. I love that place.
Yeah, we've got Fry's Electronics in Arizona too. We love it.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Joel?
I'm a big clothing person. Like I really like cool clothes and stuff. So I would there's a place actually in North Hollywood, Jessica, I'll have to tell you about it. There's a place called Ghost Circus Apparel. They make all my jackets, all my show jackets and stuff. And so they sponsor me. So they make a lot of my stuff. So shout out to Ghost Circus Apparel. But then if I could just shop there for free forever, that's where I would absolutely go Circus Apparel.
So what was the name again? Ghost Circuits Apparel?
Ghost Circus, like the circus. So Ghost Circus. Yeah, Ghost Circus Apparel. Yeah. And in fact, they're making face masks right now. They're like regulation face masks for people and like selling them dirt cheap so that people have these face masks. It's really cool. I put links on my Instagram story every once in a while of it. So, and I'll send it to you guys.
Yeah, I need to go check them out for sure.
Yeah, they're really close to you, Jessica. They're in North Hollywood.
I'm right on Lankershim, so like right off Lankershim.
Yeah, they're not far from there. Yeah, I mean they just moved their warehouse, but they're close by to you. So yeah.
Cool.
We'll definitely we'll throw that link up on here too.
Great, thanks, Terry.
I know Nick gets all these jackets from Angelino's in Los Angeles.
Yeah, Nick would dig Ghost Circus too. If any of the jackets you guys see me wear, it's all Ghost Circus. It's the triangle logo. They have this triangle. It's on all my stuff. It's this triangle logo. It's Ghost Circus.
Cool.
I feel like Nick and Joel could have a great like jacket off. You know, you got excellent in the jackets department. Nick Davies and Joel Meyers. I mean,
my wedding was just big flower jacket. I bet you Nick would really. He'd look better in it than me, man. I tell you what. Yeah.
So I've got to tell you this. So Nick and Julie are getting married next year, and they're both movie freaks and all kind of stuff. You know, he proposed to her in Hobbiton, Lord of the Rings. So they
saw that.
So they're getting married at the Stanley Hotel in Colorado, where Stephen King stayed when he wrote The Shining, and they're staying in room 217, I think it is.
Oh,
wow, that's so cool, man!
I swear to you, his jacket is going to be the carpet from The Shining.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
You got to make a statement, man. Why dress like everybody else? You know?
Yeah.
You gotta look. I mean, we're magicians, first of all, which means we're already really different. And then you want to stand out with your look, your brand, and your style. I got a mohawk, for God's sakes. You know what I mean?
Very good.
Jen, what store would it be for you?
Well, to add to the deck of cards answer, if I could shop anywhere, I've got to go with the magic shop. I'd go with, man, there's so many great ones. There's, you know, in New York, where I'm from originally. Tannins, of course.
Yes.
Phantasma Magic, where I actually worked as a teenager. There's, Vanishing Ink I love. There's Theory 11 has all those cool decks of cards. There's Penguin Magic. So many magic sites. I don't know if I could decide, but it has to be something magical.
Jen's like, now send me free stuff.
Well, that's a cool answer. Last one. What's your guilty pleasure? We're going to start with Joel. Joel, what is your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure is it's weird. I'm really OCD. I've gotten better because I have 2 kids. So I have like a 3-month-old baby and a 7-year-old. But my guilty pleasure is not a normal guilty pleasure. I'm like so clean. I love to clean, which is weird. Like, who would love to clean? But like when I'm like extremely stressed, I clean, and it like, you know, straightens my head out, and I make sure my floors are polished and stuff. So it's weird, but I would say that's my guilty pleasure, and it's just weird. So there. And tattoos. I like tattoos a lot too. I have a lot of tattoos. So.
Oh wow.
Jen,
there's something satisfying about like when your space is clean. I don't know about you guys, but when you sit down to work, like, isn't it just your mind feels clean if your desk is clean, you know? If it's not too cluttered, you're like, okay.
I can't function until I, like, even for this, like when I came over to do this, I'm like, I got to make the beds. I got to do this. I got to do that. I'm not like, what am I going to wear on the show? I'm like, I got to clean first, and then I can concentrate. It's really pathetic. But and I'm like that in hotels or on cruise ships or wherever I'm staying, because, we travel 80 to 90% of the year. And so whenever I'm like that everywhere. I'm just clean. Like the people on the cruise ships who go and clean my room love me. They're just like, okay, my job here is done, and they leave.
Wow. Joel, my wife Anne just jumped on and posted, Joel, you are a rare male breed.
You're sweet. Please tell my wife that, because she's watching this too, and I want her to understand that it's a good thing. It's not always a bad thing. Because she's like, you're too clean. She's like, chill out,
Well, you're getting lots of comments. Jan Stenning just said, Joel, come clean my house, please.
I'll come right over, Jan.
And
that.
Cindy, who runs our office in Phoenix, just said, a clean desk? What is that? So, Jen, what's your guilty pleasure?
Oh, my guilty pleasure. I have a sweet tooth. I do. And so for our show, we have a wonderful crew I love working with. And so I love surprising them. There's this great donut shop here in Vegas, and they make these donuts that look like works of art. They've got one that's like Harry Potter themed, and it has little glasses and like super awesome creative donuts. And the most, like, you walk in, when you just walk into like a donut shop or some kind of a pastry shop, and all of a sudden you just smell like this complete aroma of the so I'd say I get donuts for the crew, and I always have to pick out my favorite one. So probably donuts or chocolate.
Have you been to Voodoo Donuts in Portland? I went there with Matt Franco years ago, and they make like they make a donut that looks like a voodoo doll with like a pretzel through the heart, and like it's the best. And they make like Cocoa Pebble donuts. in Portland. It's called Voodoo Donuts. Really good.
All right, I'm taking a mental note of that. Wow, I've never been.
Yeah.
Jessica, what's your guilty pleasure?
Oh man, this is so easy. The chocolate chip cookies on Holland America Cruise Line.
Oh yeah, they're
so
like hot
good.
cookies.
Yeah, the kids. So after my show, if I perform at the beginning of the week, the kids start to notice that I'll show up when they pop out of the oven. Because there was the one guy, oh, he's so cute. His name was MacGyver, believe it or not. And he was the guy putting the cookies in. He's like, Miss Jane, the cookies are out. And the kids knew if I was standing in front of the cookie stand, they were fresh baked. So there'd be like this, me and all these children.
I just love how they call you Miss Jane on the cruises. Yeah. They're like, hey, Joel, come here.
Hey, Jessica, we've got a shout out for you. Someone called Michael Mouth.
Oh, hey, Michael.
Yeah, so
the Magic family. Woo!
So that's cool. So look, we've got 3 people with amazing careers. And to be honest, if we talked all about your careers, we'd be here all day. And we can do that, but we need to keep it down. So I'd love to speak to each of one of you. I'm going to kick off with you, Jessica, about your career. Obviously, all 3 of you are all at the top of your game right now for all very different reasons. And I'd love for you to talk about maybe a part of your career where, one, you realize, hey, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And B, you realize, you're going to be successful. You're actually going to be good at this.
Yeah.
We're all blessed to do what we do. So Jessica, tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in a magic family. My mom was a magician's assistant, and my uncle was a magician. So we literally grew up backstage on touring illusion shows, me and my sister. And it was the magic family. But I realized when I was like 12 years old and I was getting put in the sawing in half that I did not want to be sawn in half for the rest of my life. And I would much prefer to be doing the magic myself. And Jen and I have this in common. I went to 2 places, one Tannen's Magic Camp in New York. And that's where Jen and I met as magic campers.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah, true story. And then Lance Burton's Teen Weekend. Lance Burton has this whole thing every year where he invites teenagers from around the world to learn the art of magic and showmanship and the business of it. So it's show business is the bigger the 2 words. So I go out there for this convention and I learn from Lance, who I look up to as a mentor because he's so wonderful and such a wonderful human. And I realized at 14, 15 years old at that Teen Weekend that this is what I wanted to do. There was no backup plan, no other choice. This was going to happen. And I was going to make it as a magician. So I was determined, my heart's in it. I'm an all-around magic nerd. I even have stuff that like belonged to Houdini and Blackstone and Doug Henning, like all over the place. It's my passion. I eat, sleep, and breathe it. But I ran away with a circus sideshow when I was 17. And I learned how to eat fire, walk on broken glass. I learned to eat light bulbs, all that stuff. And there was a guy named Ward Hall, the king of the sideshow. And he taught me to speak to people and not at them on stage. And I realized that if I could be myself on stage and connect with people, I could truly make this a living. So went through the sideshow. I went to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I did like thousands of shows there. And I ended up 4-walling my own show and learning a whole lot about that. I did not make any money, but I didn't lose any money because I had no idea what the overhead
Hey, you didn't lose any money. That's a win.
Oh, dude, I was like, I didn't lose. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot. I loved doing that show. It taught me so much. Oh my gosh, from brochures to logos to booking this to doing timeshare talks to doing this and this to get butts and seats. And then fortunately, TAD management came along and now I get to be on cruise ships and beautiful theaters and I don't have to pay to put butts in seats.
Right.
Yes.
Who have not
Mic drop.
If you haven't seen Jessica perform, just check out this video. She's amazing.
My name is Jessica Jane Peterson, and I'm from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I do a little bit of everything. I do stage magic, I do some close-up, and I also do some sideshow arts that I try to incorporate into my magics. Change things up a little bit. I hope I entertained you guys.
You sure did. It was fabulous.
Absolutely. You certainly
your word aloud. Time. Watch.
It was just a wonderful routine all the way through, just confidence and grace.
Well, no wonder they love you on Holland America. That's fantastic. I'm mesmerized by magicians, all of you. It's just, it's crazy. I no sleight of hand at all. Wouldn't know what.
Jan Stenning taught us everything we know.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, maybe you don't know. Do you know Jan was a magician's assistant on the SS Norway?
I knew that she did some stuff with magic. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, she really. I love how she can relate in that. How she was in the industry for so long, and she really relates in that.
Yeah, and we're going to cut to some video of Jan on the. No, I wish we had that.
Oh my God,
That would have been awesome. Oh my God, I was like, really?
Yes. I want to see what Jan is typing in the comments right now.
Have you seen her old like promo shots, guys? She was incredible.
Yes.
Have you seen some of those? She looks the exact same, but
Yeah, that's awesome. So, Joel,
Yes.
what a career you've got, and you've got this amazing underground thing that you got going on now, which I'd love to hear.
oh yeah, the Magic Underground. Yeah, it's virtual magic shows I'm doing. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I know when we first came across Joel Meyers, obviously the edginess of you promo everything, and I expected this thug to walk out, head to toe, and that stroll in, and then you come on, you're a super nice guy. Tell us any part of your career where you got to where you are now, because you're such a cool guy.
Thanks, buddy. Well, I mean, really, it took a long time to figure out who I was as not only an artist, but as a person, a long time. And I went through a lot of trial and error, made a lot of mistakes, and tried to figure out, who I was. And it took a long time. And so when I finally figured out the kind of clothing I liked, the kind of style I liked, the kind of magic that I would do, it took a very long time. I've been doing magic probably just like you guys since I was a little kid. I was 6, and I started out performing on the streets. And I used to travel around. My dad, he was a traveling salesman. And so we'd travel wherever he was. And I'd perform wherever we were. So I'd perform on the streets in Las Vegas or Times Square in New York City or Santa Monica Boulevard in California. And I'd just perform. That's how I thought people would watch you. I was like, how else do you perform if you don't just stand out and perform for people? So throughout all my teenage years, I was just trying to figure it out. And so, and then for me, I was always a worker. I always knew, magic to me was always performing. Like, you got to get on stage and perform. I never understood the sides of magic, which I have mad respect for, like teaching magic and, and all these other elements of what magic can be. But for me, it was always being on stage and performing. And so, so I guess the thing is, like, with the edginess and all that, that's just kind of how my style came out. I'm the same guy, the same personality. I love people. That's a big thing. I just love people. So every show is different because I just love people. I love performing for people. To me, the magic is secondary, to be honest. I love magic. It's the thing I'm most obsessed with in the world. But besides my wife. But magic to me is kind of like a means to be able to perform for people. And so to me, it's all more about the audience connecting with people. And if I don't connect with people first, it doesn't matter how good the magic is kind of what I've figured out.
And so, if you haven't seen Joel in action, just check out this video. Wow.
Nothing that bad.
That's Joel Meyers, incredible. And you know, Joel, you've got, we've all been here. For those who are watching this in the future, looking back on a rerun of this, we're smack in the middle of the coronavirus outbreak. At least we hope it's the middle and we're coming out of it. So all the entertainers and all the people in the entertainment industry on and off stage are trying to find ways to adjust to this. And I think, Joel, you come up with something pretty spectacular that's been very successful, called the Magic Underground. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so basically, I've been very blessed because I work very hard at touring. And so I'm on the road probably 90% of the year and constantly touring. My touring never stops. So I do every market. The cruises is a big one, and I just love doing the cruises. And, as soon as this stuff started hitting, most of my summer is cruises. And, I'm supposed to be doing the Pride of America and all these different ships all this summer. And so when all this hit, I knew it could be really bad. And so I thought, how can I still do my show? And I really didn't think it would work, the virtual shows, but I'm doing this virtual show that I'm calling the Magic Underground. And it's literally just like this, where I'm on Zoom. And right now I'm doing it a lot with colleges and corporations. And I literally just do my virtual show. So it's very different because my stage show is extremely interactive. So people are involved with every single thing I do on stage. And so to bring it to where I take all of that and strip all of that away and I'm interacting with the camera, I have multiple camera angles, and we do it in HD with good lighting and everything. But I mean, it's still so different and so weird, but at least I can hear people. So I'll have my AirPods in and I can hear them. So when I'm interacting with people, I can tell them, think of a person that you're close to, or think of a playing card or whatever. And I can interact, or I'll do something virtually through the screen, where I have the whole group interact with it. But it was something that I just had to adapt to. And I know Jessica and Jen, you guys can relate with this. As magicians, we've been adapting for way before we were even alive with technology. Yeah. As technology progresses, as magicians, you adapt with your style, you adapt with the type of magic you do. Who was it? Arthur C. Clarke said any advanced form of technology is indistinguishable from magic. Is that who said it? You guys are nodding, so I think I said the right quote, the right person. But yeah, so technology in general is constantly adapting. An iPhone was magic, 100 years ago would have been magic. Now it's just technology. So I just tried to adapt with it. And so now it's going well. I've got 10 virtual shows this month, which is great. I bust my butt doing it to make it happen. But I mean, so it's going well, but it's just adapting.
Yeah, good for you. We're going to throw links up for that too. Hey, Jessica, Brandon Baggett said hi, Jessica.
Oh, hello, Brandon.
Hi, Jessica. Jen, you have a residency. I believe the only female with a residency in Las Vegas. Is that right?
Right. Currently, I'm such a supporter of fellow women in magic, and it's great to see you all. And Jessica, we haven't seen each other in so long. So girl power. There have been, headliners who have been female magicians in Vegas in the past, but at the moment, I'm the only currently.
Well, tell us a bit about your career as a female magician.
Sure. So I started in magic when I was 10 years old, and actually, this is kind of cool. Usually when I talk about this, I'm not actually at home with my bookshelf. So this is a first, but it all started with this exact book right here, The Royal Road to Card Magic.
Yes.
What's kind of fun is this is from my uncle, and he wrote me a little note in it. This was my 10th birthday present.
Wow, that's so cool.
That's cool.
So this right here, this is probably my most treasured physical possession in the world right here. So
wow,
much
that's so great.
value.
That's awesome that you have it right now, to where if you're talking about it generally like in your show, and now you just have it right there.
Right. I know. Yeah. This is the first time in like a video interview situation that I've actually had the book with me physically. So this is the book that started it all for me. 10th birthday present from my Uncle Steve. And I loved books as a kid. I still do. So that's how I started learning. And then I joined a young magicians group and went to magic camp, where, as Jessica mentioned, where we first met, Tannen's Magic Camp. And then, just started performing anywhere and everywhere I could.
All the way to a Las Vegas residency. Where is the residency, Jen?
So I perform my show here in Vegas at Westgate Resort and Casino. At the moment, with the current events of the world, we're on pause, of course, with as all the shows are. But I'm so excited to be back. We're on 4 nights a week, so every Wednesday through Saturday, 5 o'clock at Westgate, and
Cool.
a family-friendly show. And kind of like Joel was saying, there's a lot of interactivity, a lot of audience participation, and I totally agree with what Joel was saying about just connecting with people. About that being sort of the key component.
Well, we're going to make sure we come to Vegas and see this show after when we're all back to normal. But for viewers who haven't seen
I would love that.
just check out this video of Jen Kramer in action.
Jen Kramer!
Magic stretches the bounds of the possible.
What? I don't get it! You're so good, Jen. Jen Kramer! Jen Kramer!
You're thinking in your mind of a single card. You shuffled the deck. You dealt the cards. The card you're thinking of, Jonathan?
The 8 of diamonds? Wow! That's fabulous. No idea.
Fantastic. Wow, 3 amazing performers there. This is great. And I've noticed, as he just pointed out, that Joel is wearing his Hugh Hefner shirt today.
I am, yeah. It's like a pajama shirt, but I wear it with like jeans and stuff. I kind of get away. I think I get away. I don't know. Do I not? Is this okay, guys? It's very silky.
Looking good. Looking good.
Very happy. So we're at the segment that we do every time. This is Where in the World is Terry?
Where in the world is Terry? Where in the world is Terry?
That's a real question, though. Like, I really often ask, where the hell is Terry? That's something I ask to Jan all the time.
I ask it frequently. So here's what we do. We're going to fire you'll see my background change, and I'll be somewhere in the world. Who shall I start? Start with Jen. Jen, where in the world am I?
Oh, wait a minute. Fox. Oh, I should know this.
There's several Fox theaters, though.
I know. Fox theaters. Oh, the Arch, St. Louis. St. Louis. You're in St. Louis.
Yeah, you see the arch, and then you're there.
Yes,
it is.
Isn't it? That's an easy. All right.
St. Louis for a few years, by the way.
Joel, this is easy. So you've got like 3 seconds. All right.
There's nothing back there. What are you doing? Oh, Seattle.
Nope.
Oh, Vegas. Jeez.
Nope.
Where is that? How is it easy? Oh, Japan.
Nearly. Closer.
Tokyo.
No. Go down a bit.
I don't know. I haven't been there. I don't know what that is. Do you guys know? Help me out.
Anybody know? No.
Mm-mm. Can you like phone a friend in the comments?
Yeah,
it's somewhere in Asia because there's writing back there. Right. But that tower threw me off. Like I felt like that was right off the bat. I was like, Seattle. Oh, Vegas. That's not Vegas.
Let's see if anyone's got it on the viewers there. Let's see who gets this. It's the purple that little 2-dome purple thing that should give it away.
Okay, so and we know that it's not.
Oh,
Tokyo
Scotty
or Japan.
Pearson came in and got it for the win.
What is it?
Shanghai.
That's what I said. I didn't say that.
So you've never been to Shanghai, Joel?
No, I haven't been to Shanghai. I've been to China. Don't tell anyone right now, but I've been to China. But I haven't been to Shanghai.
right, Jessica, where in the world am I?
Oh God, I'm nervous. Oh. Is it?
Look at that street.
Nashville?
Yes, Nashville.
Yes!
Fun fact, everybody drives legitimately that fast in Nashville.
Well,
too,
I
by
think
the way.
I walked down that street when I worked House of Cards. It's underneath the Johnny
Nash
Cash
Vegas.
Museum. I'm like, I
it's
think I
Nash,
walked there.
Nash Vegas, baby.
Oh yeah.
Hey, do you, you know, we love doing this part where if you've got questions for each other, well, you know, if you've got one or two questions for each other. Joel, do you have a question for the girls?
Yeah. Okay. So I have a question. So I have mad respect for both of you guys, and you know that. But I'm curious what it was like, you know, becoming magicians, you know, at an early age as females, because magic is such a male-dominated art. And so anytime, you know, like I'm friends with like Misty Knight, and like, you know, I have
She's
so much
awesome.
respect. Yeah, she is. And I mean, both, you know, Kyle and Misty are both awesome, but I have so much respect for like standing up and being like, you know, representing magic as a female. And so, yeah, I mean, if that makes sense, my question is kind of like, what was it like kind of breaking the mold of that and going through that into the thriving careers that you guys now have, where you're these touring performers, residencies, television, all of this stuff. So you went from just starting out and everything to where you're at now. What was it, you know, what was it like? Like, you know, were there very many people that were kind of against you with it? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think when we were at Magic Camp, I think there were about 100 boys and maybe like 7 of us girls, if I'm remembering.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I mean, I think sort of to kick things off, I've been really fortunate to be surrounded by some super supportive, wonderful people growing up in magic. And I remember when I joined the Society of Young Magicians group, I must have been 11 or 12 at the time. And every time we met, it would be the same situation, 15 or 20 boys, and I'd be the only girl. And I remember—
That's awesome.
I remember thinking it would have been great to have more, to have more girls at the table at that point. But I just loved magic so much and had such great people in the group, and many of them are friends of mine to this day. And we met when we were kids. But now, staying in touch with the leaders of the group, now I found out that in that same Society of Young Magicians group in New York, there are several young girls who are now a part of the group. And I think it just shows that magic heading in that direction where more women are getting involved. And to me, that's so exciting.
Yeah. Leading the way. I love it, both of you. That's great. Do either of you have a question for Joel?
Something
to do with the shirt.
Pondering. Okay, what is your favorite? You work so many different types of venues. What's your favorite show, favorite venue that you do?
Favorite show, favorite venue. That is a good question. Man, every venue is very different. I don't know. I really like the college crowds. I've heard negative things about colleges from certain performers, like Jerry Seinfeld talks about how it's too politically correct. I've never experienced that. I've always had a really good time with the college groups, and I can kind of get away with a lot. My style, I really pull off my style. And then honestly, cruise ships, I've only done cruise ships in the last couple of years, right, Terry? I mean, I started with you guys a couple of years ago, and I'd never been on a cruise ship before that.
Yeah, me neither. I'd never been on a ship until I performed on one.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? But cruise ships honestly are so fun. And there's this weird thing about when you're done with a show at a theater or any other venue, everybody goes home. And on a cruise ship, as soon as the show's over, you're with everybody. Yeah. And so that was something when you go to get your coffee or wherever you're going, you're still the performer walking around. And so, I mean, but there's something about that I really enjoy. I love meeting the other performers on the cruise ships, and I love the audiences. Everybody's there to have a good time. Yeah. And I didn't know how my style would go over on the cruise ships, and it went very well. And I was just very grateful for that. So I love doing the cruise ships. I love colleges. I really love all sorts of. I mean, I love it. I love it all, Jess. But that's a good question.
Nice.
So, all right, we've got a question we ask on every show. and I love hearing the answers to this one. So here's the question, guys, and I think you've all seen the show before, so you know what's coming. If you could spend the next hour with two people in one place, two people dead or alive, for any reason whatsoever, who would you spend the next hour with, and what would you talk about, and where would you be? Jessica.
Okay, this is kind of a weird combination, but I love it. I want to go to Disney World with Walt Disney and Nikola Tesla.
Wow, wow, that's a really good answer.
I would love to walk through and hear Walt talk about everything, but watch Tesla see all these things that develop, because he had so many ideas that came into fruition so far ahead of his time. I'm sure there's things in Disney that he saw in his imagination that are right there in front of him. So I think that would just be super cool. I would love that.
Very cool. Jen, what about you?
So I would say two really strong women whom I admire, and one of them they both have passed away. One was Adelaide Herman, who is a famous magician around the turn of the 20th century, and I learned a good amount about Adelaide from my friend Margaret Steele, who has written about her, and she basically a really incredible story. She ended up, after her husband passed away, taking over the show and performing as a headliner and leading the show for many years. And I think especially at that point in time, around the turn of the 20th century, as a strong female magician, I think she's somebody who I would love to have a conversation with for sure. And the second, on a more personal note, my grandma Sylvia, passed away when I was a kid. I was 7 years old. She was just the most wonderful woman. Like, she would light up a room, she would just, anytime you were with her, you just felt so special. She made everybody feel so special. And I could just imagine, being with my grandma Sylvia and with Adelaide, these two wonderful, strong women, and just talking about kind of what our day-to-day lives are like and what's similar and what's different, and just sitting down and chatting. I would love that.
They should both be in Westgate watching your show. That would be the best.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I would love that more than anything. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Hey Joel, two people, one place, who would it be?
It's funny because you said two people, but my mother passed away when I was a kid. My mom and my sister died in the same week from two different causes. So my sister was in a car accident, and my mom died a week later from cancer. And so it's interesting that you said that, Jen, because it is, there is something about having that ability to go back and be able to spend even like a day. I saw this movie Onward with my son. Have you guys seen that? It's like a new Disney movie on Disney Plus, and like they bring their dad back for one day. And so I was like, man, there's so much I would do, be able to see my mother again. But the two people, so that's because you're saying two people, there's really three that keep popping into my head. Now I know every magician would say Houdini. I can't not say Houdini. I've gone to auctions. I have Houdini autograph things.
Oh, dude.
I know Jesse said you need to. Yes, please show me whatever you have. I want to see so bad.
So this belonged to Harry Houdini. I use it in my show on the ships, and magicians think I'm crazy because I bring it to TSA with me.
You use it in the show?
Oh yeah, I love sharing magic history, and I want it to be genuine. So this is a book from his personal library. There's his Libris on the inside. This is originally from Jay Marshall's collection, and this is a postcard written on by Bess.
No way.
Oh my God.
You gotta frame that postcard. That is cool.
That's amazing.
I love talking about this stuff. I do a whole thing about the Houdini code in the show, but I was like, I gotta show Joel. He'll get a kick out of that.
Yeah, that is freaking awesome. Yeah, so yeah, cool. That's really cool. Yeah. So like I have a lot of like original Houdini stuff framed all over my house, and a lot of autograph stuff and like handcuffs and things that he owns. And so Houdini, big time, and I grew up being obsessed with him. And I don't know why, because I'm not an escape artist. I don't do any, I do a straitjacket escape. But other than that, I don't do a lot of escape. I'm not a big escape guy. Actually, I do a straitjacket escape, so I kind of do. But at the same time, Houdini, I don't know why. He's just so mesmerizing about him and his drive and everything. I think he'd be famous today. He would figure out a way in any period in time, to become who he wants to become. And he would have used any ability, any technology or whatever around him to be able to make it happen. So Houdini, and then I'm big into, the Professor Di Vernon, and, every magician knows who the professor is. But for those of you guys who don't know, he was this magician who basically changed sleight of hand magic and the way that it's done. And he fooled Houdini back in the day. In the he fooled him with a card trick. Houdini said, if you can do a card trick over and over again, I can't figure it out. After I think 2 or 3 times, he said, then you fooled me. And so Dai Vernon fooled him with this card trick. So yeah, I would say Dai Vernon and Harry Houdini, and it would be so cool to be a fly on the wall and hang out with them and see how they talk about things. They're both extremely obsessed with magic. That's all they cared about in every way. And just the endless amount of information that you could learn in literally a 2-hour period. So so I went way too far with that. Terry's like, okay, hurry up.
I've got one eye as I look over here. I've got one eye on the viewers who are question after question. There's a lot of interaction on this show. And so before I wind it down, I want to go to a few of these viewer comments and see what we've got. Because I know that we have one here that says, Jen, do you have your grandmother's qualities?
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet.
Oh, that is so sweet. That's such a sweet. Oh man, I mean, she's somebody who I.
Qualities. Yeah, that's amazing. And so we've got Gan and Anne commenting, beautiful on every level. They're talking about you, Jen. So a lot of positive.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. That is like the nicest compliment that you could give, to compare me to my grandma Sylvia, who I love so much. So thank you so much.
Well, she says you have your, a lot of people loving the interaction on this show, saying that you three, somebody's asking for a show with the 3 of you on it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Michael Paul, who's an amazing ventriloquist comedian and a great guy.
He is great. I've seen him. He's so good.
They want to know if those are Joel's magic pajamas.
Yeah, they're my magic. I'm wearing jeans, okay, guys? I'm wearing jeans. I'm not wearing shoes, but I'm wearing jeans. Actually, on my virtual shows, I learned, because everybody would ask me if I'm wearing shoes, and I learned I have to wear shoes, especially because we do multiple camera angles, so they'd see my feet. This is the only time I've done this where I'm not wearing shoes. But
very nice. And of course, my wife jumps in as she always does, and she says, quote, both girls are stunning, and Joel ain't bad on the eyes either.
Oh, that's so sweet.
We're gonna put together a 3-person show. It's gonna happen. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be Jen, Jessica, and Joel. That's what's gonna happen, man. I'll be the afterthought. I'll come along. I'll just be happy to be there.
If you want to see further TAD Talk shows, go on our Facebook page. You're already on it now, and click like, and you'll get notifications. We do it every Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock Pacific time, 2 o'clock Eastern time, and about 7 o'clock in the evening in the UK. And we've got some amazing guests. We've had 8 episodes so far. We've got some special one-on-one episodes, and come and check us out because it's fun. Tomorrow's show is going to be a little bit special. Let me flick over here. You've seen Spider-Man, the 3 trilogy episode. J. Jonas Jameson, also the star of Whiplash. J.K. Simmons is going to be one of my guests tomorrow, and that's going to be nice, talking to J.K. about his career and a lot of other stuff. And he's joined by his brother, David Simmons, who we know and runs an amazing project called the UBU Project. Please join us on that show. I'll be joined by my son Nick, and we'll be interacting with JK and David and talking about some
and Nick will be wearing this shirt tomorrow.
I can tell you that Nick is probably already going through his jackets and go, how can I one-up Joe?
It's not hard to do.
David and J.K. Simmons is on the show. We've got some great guests coming up. We've also got Sam Kane and Linda Lusardi, who, as you know, are my closest friends and are both just recovering from COVID-19.
Oh.
That's great news, but they'll be joining us. So it's going to be a fantastic week of TAD Talk. Thank you so much for joining us, Jen, Jessica, Joel. It's been a great show, and we'll see you guys on the next TAD Talk. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.